The Chris Brown list is crazier than you thought. Fame as a teen means every move got caught. From Rihanna to Karrueche, every moment got watched. So here's a drama-filled love story that the internet clocked. In this video, we're going to be going over Chris Brown's relationship timeline from his earliest days in the industry until the present day. And just like anybody who's been a celebrity for this long, there's a whole lot of public drama, backlash, breakups, and ultimately, these are the women that fueled the music that we know and love by Chris Brown. Now, born in 1989, Chris Brown is known to many as the king of R&B. And he's been famous since he was a teenager in high school, being signed at 15 years old in 2005 with his first self-titled album, which featured the #1 hit, Run It. And yeah, it's just crazy that Chris Brown was only 15 years old at the time. And as of right now, he holds the record for the most top 40 hits by an R&B singer, as well as the most RIAA gold/multi-platinum singles for a male artist. He is the second most awarded artist in BET history after Beyonce, and he's even a Grammy Award winner and an actor, appearing in films like Stomp the Yard, Takers, and This Christmas. And throughout all of his success, Chris Brown was linked to multiple women, with his first girlfriend being Ammika Jackson, who he dated in Virginia before his major fame. And the two of them met when they were studying at Essex High School together, and they ultimately broke up after Chris Brown found fame. Crazy enough, Chris Brown did spin the block on her again, and this was years later after Chris Brown and Rihanna first broke up after their public fight. And ultimately, there's not too much known about Ammika Jackson and compared to all of Chris Brown's other relationships. After Ammika, Chris Brown started to date Rihanna, with the two getting linked in 2008 after people kept spotting them together. And before they started to date, they had knew each other for years since their teenage years. And eventually, they became one of the biggest young couples in music. And ultimately, their relationship went bad in 2009. After their fight the night before the Grammys. Chris Brown was charged, the relationship ended, and they both went their separate ways for years. And in 2012, they tried to get back together. Ultimately, that didn't work, and they broke up by 2013. And years after the relationship, Chris Brown opened up about a lot of his wrongdoings, explaining how he broke Rihanna's trust by starting the relationship on a lie, telling her that he didn't have any previous relations with the woman that she had asked him about. And from there, everything went downhill. According to Chris, this is when the verbal and physical fights started to happen between the two. And that brings us to the night of the crazy fight, which all started at a Clive Davis party, when the girl that Chris had lied about came in and said hi to the couple, which made Rihanna really upset. They left the party in Chris's Lamborghini, and this is when the broke out. And the aftermath of the fight was crazy. And I was only 9 years old at the time, and I remember this was like the biggest deal. And then there was that photo that showed Rihanna's injuries, and my goodness, let's just say that she did not look good at all. And as of right now, the two don't really interact much publicly, but Chris Brown did congratulate Rihanna on her baby that she had with A$AP Rocky. Shortly after Chris's breakup with Rihanna, he was linked to Canadian singer-songwriter Rhea, who he connected with while working on music together. And when it comes to Rhea, she gained her attention for her appearance on MTV's Making the Band 4 and collaborations with artists such as P. Diddy and Nelly. And the two's personal relationship was brief. And Rhea has since maintained a low profile while just focusing on her music. And yeah, so as you'll see, for a little bit of time after Rihanna, Chris Brown was just on a bunch of short stints, with the next one being with American model and influencer Jasmine Sanders in 2010. And the two were linked after being seen together at a basketball game in New York City. And their rumored romance really gained traction when Chris Brown tweeted about her, and all of the fans started to say that Jasmine Sanders looked just like Rihanna. And now you're looking at them on the screen right now, you can't say that they don't look alike. However, as I said, the relationship was short-lived, and Chris Brown would then be linked to social media personality Drea Michelle. And Drea Michelle confirmed their relationship on the Wendy Williams show, saying that she dated Chris Brown for 9 months.
I had no idea that you had dated Chris Brown, but I found out that you did. How long were you with him?
Chris and I were together for about 9 months.
So you were a real girlfriend?
Yeah.
Was that before, after, or during Rihanna?
That was definitely well after.
According to her, when she first got with Brown, he was still touched by the whole Rihanna situation, and she helped him out of it.
Yeah.
Was he
after.
still wounded? Was he still going through probation at that point?
I mean, he was touched by the situation. I kind of got him at a weak and vulnerable point, I guess you could say. But you know, we really didn't discuss her.
But she never experienced any behavior during their time together.
And how was he as a boyfriend?
Great, good boyfriend. You know, all the rumors and whatever they have against him. I never witnessed any of that.
And ultimately, the two stayed friends after breaking up, with Chris Brown actually introducing Drea to his next girlfriend, Karrueche Tran. And when it comes to Karrueche, she was another long-term relationship for Chris Brown, just like Rihanna. And Chris met Karrueche in 2011 while she was working as a stylist. They clicked fast, but the situation got complicated when Chris started reconnecting with Rihanna. Here you can see Chris Brown cheating on Karrueche with Rihanna at a Lakers game in 2012. And at one point, Chris said publicly that he was in love with two people, which obviously put Karrueche right in the middle of the mess.
I was in love with two females.
Right.
So, you know, during that process, their feelings toward that, you know, like women are emotional, men are emotional. And I can't, you know, be selfish and think that they would have a okay feeling towards it, you know, but I just had to be honest. And if they accepted it, they accepted it. If not, that's just my consequences because that's just how I feel.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the good thing is they're both wonderful women and they just was like, you know what? We just want you to be all right.
Right.
And so I was just like, you know what? Now you just made it even harder.
Word. How do I think?
And about a year after they first started dating, they broke up. This is because Chris Brown said he didn't want Karrueche getting hurt by his situation with Rihanna. Although the two got back together once things with Chris Brown and Rihanna officially ended. And yeah, for a couple years, things seemed pretty fine. That's until 2015 when Karrueche left Chris Brown for good. And this was after she found out that he was expecting a third child with a woman named Nia Guzman. According to Karrueche, she found out that Chris was the baby's father through social media. She also said that Chris has tried to apologize multiple times, although for her, there was no making up at the moment. And ultimately, Karrueche said that she would never get back with Chris ever again. And years later, she said that Chris Brown kept trying to contact her and even threatening her. So she had to get a temporary restraining order on him in 2017. And in the restraining order granted by a judge, Karrueche alleged that Chris Brown punched her in the stomach and pushed her down the stairs at one point during their relationship. But I do want to say that there was never a police report filed, so it's genuinely just her word versus his. Despite their public falling out, Chris Brown has brought up Karrueche in his music, once during his song Grass Ain't Greener, which is widely speculated as addressing Karrueche's betrayal, as well as the breakdown of their relationship.
You ain't the girl that you used to be. You say you're done, you're moving on.
And another time he put her in his music was during Rick Ross's song Sorry, which Chris Brown said was an apology for Karrueche.
I'm sorry.
And then ultimately the two linked back up at Coachella 2024, where you can see Chris Brown making Karrueche laugh. Now that brings us to Nia Guzman, who, like I said, was the mother of Chris's first child, and she's also the reason that Chris Brown and Karrueche broke up. And yeah, the craziest thing, it was all a one that led to Chris Brown's first child. And obviously, like I said, it caused a lot of drama between him and Karrueche. It was in 2016 when Nia took Chris Brown to court and accused him of being too unfit of a parent to be alone with their daughter. Ultimately, the couple share joint custody, and they co-parent without any problems publicly. And after Nia, Chris Brown was linked to American model Ammika Harris. And Ammika first got linked to Chris Brown in 2015, shortly after his split from Karrueche Tran. Their relationship stayed mostly low-key, barely any public outings, and no clear confirmation. Despite this, in November 2019, they welcomed their son, which was Chris Brown's second child. And what's crazy, the couple was forced to be separated from one another for quite some time during the quarantine, as Ammika and their son were stuck in Germany after Trump banned travel to and from Europe. From this point forward, people didn't really know if the two were still together, but ultimately in February 2023, the couple spent Valentine's Day in Paris. And by early 2024, most reports indicated that while Chris and Ammika remain on good terms, they were no longer romantically involved. After Ammika Harris came Agnes Mo, who's an Indonesian singer, songwriter, and actress. Agnes was linked to Chris after they posted cozy photos from the studio, but people weren't really sure if the two were actually dating or if this was just promotion for their song Overdose. They also shot a very intimate music video. They showed up together at DJ Khaled's birthday party in 2017, and then they slowly faded out. A short time after this, Chris Brown was linked to Vanessa Vargas, who's a Dominican model that Chris started to post on Instagram in early 2017. And this included a lingerie photo with her calling him daddy, which basically confirmed that the two were dating. And although the two never outright said that they were dating, they were spotted together on multiple random occasions. However, things ended quickly. The next woman that Chris Brown was linked to is named Diamond Brown, and she's an American model. Chris initially noticed Diamond on Instagram, liking several of her photos, and she later attended his 30th birthday party, a moment that fans often point to as the start of their casual relationship. And after this, Diamond also started to travel with Chris Brown during parts of his tours. And then in 2021, she announced her pregnancy, posting a photo of her bump with the caption, "Just when you think you know love, something little comes along to remind you how big it really is." And then she gave birth to their daughter in January of 2022. After her arrival, Diamond shared another post that read, "My princess is here, my sweet baby girl. You've already shown me the true meaning of life. I promise to love and protect you always." And for Chris Brown, he later confirmed that he was the father on Instagram. In June 2024, both were seen in the club together, looking like they were getting pretty close to one another. Around the same time Chris Brown was first linked to Diamond, he was also linked to American model India Marie, who he met in late 2018 on the set of his Type Away music video. And during the video, she was featured as the leading lady. They reportedly started dating after that, but things ended in May once the news came out that Chris was expecting a child with Ammika. Then in 2022, Chris Brown and India Marie were again spotted together in LA, and they were locking lips at a house party. But ultimately, just like a lot of his other relationships, things with India Marie just seemed to fade. And all of this brings us to Chris Brown's current status. In November of 2024, during a live stream with Kai Cenat, Chris Brown said that he's not single. According to him, he's in multiple relationships and manages them by being honest.
Are you in a relationship right now?
Me? Am I in a relationship?
Yup.
I'm in multiple. What do you mean?
Like more than one girlfriend?
It's something like that.
Okay. And how do you balance that? Because that's a lot of balance unless they just
Just keep it 100. To be honest.
So yeah, it seems like Chris Brown now just has a bunch of different girls. And for me, I'm hoping that I could get a bunch of different likes on this video. And if you're really feeling it, maybe even subscribe. Now, before we get out of here, I do want to say thank you guys so much. This is the very last video of the year, and we're going to be going so hard next year, you don't even know. If you're already a part of the journey, just know that you're watching something crazy in the making. And I also just want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. But hey, in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Peace.